My name is Henrik Nico. I'm the project manager for Kafstein Studios. We have, for 10 weeks, been working on Sanctum, a first-person tower defense mode for Unreal Tournament 3. You take on the role as Sky, a female elite soldier, and your sole purpose is to defend your hometown from the invading force of mysterious alien creatures. You get to choose from different defensive formations and upgrade deadly Gatling turrets to aid you in the defense of the city. The use of handheld weapons will give you a further advantage. Now, let's take a look at our trailer. Now, over to the planning workflow. I started by making a rough iteration plan based on a few tasks after some milestones we had set up. This iteration plan had to be reworked after about 2 weeks due to not being accurate enough. This was done by the whole group sitting down together for about the whole day, discussing and re-evaluating the tasks and when they should be done. Towards the end of the project, we submitted Sanctum to 2 different competitions, and for these we used priority lists. These are simply lists of tasks and features that have to be done before the set deadline. We also color-coded these priority lists so that you could see what needed doing, what had already been done, and what had been delayed. Over to the positive aspects. We used flexible working hours so that you could come in either a bit late or leave a bit early in the evening. We also had a small and very dedicated group who all worked towards a shared goal. This made everything a lot easier as everyone worked hard. We also used a wiki to share information within the group. This wiki was always available and editable by all group members. The wiki also supported color coding, which made it easier to set up a priority list that had a nice overview so you could see what had to be done. About the negative aspects, we were all pretty inexperienced in the Unreal Tournament 3 engine, and this made it hard for me as a project manager to put up planning that was accurate. And this is also related to lack of programmers, which made it hard for us to estimate how hard it would be to solve some tasks. Over to the public relations. I was also the one in charge of this, and early on in the project we decided on having a close relation with the community. We did this by putting up a website on mod database, where I posted information about who we are, what Sanctum is. I posted concept art, screenshots, and some trailers. We also had a development blog where I wrote about our progress, what problems we were running into. I posted work-in-progress screenshots, some photos from the actual development, and so on. I also made sure to put up announcements and threads on different forums where I explained further who we are. And the feedback that we got from all of these sources was very motivating, as everyone sounded interested in what we were doing, even though we hadn't released much information. Now, over to design.
Hello, my name is Alexander Wallberg, and I am the lead designer of Sanctum. In the beginning of the project, we knew that this would be quite a challenge, as we were very inexperienced with the engine. Therefore, we decided to set our goals low, as with as few features available as the game design would allow. So we hopefully would have something working in the end of the project. One of the first things we did was to find and use tutorials on the engine and its different editors. The tutorials have been very useful for us, and we found lots of help on the internet as well. Even before the project began, we started to watch video tutorials on how to use the engine and these different editors. And in the end, we have all learned a lot on how to work with the editor and gained some expertise in the different areas we have been working with. As part of our work process, we have worked on different test levels to test our different works. This was useful as we could test our work in a safe environment before we merged it into the actual level of the game. Because we didn't have any programmers, we designers had to do that work too. That led to less time for actual design work, and that was something we had to do, but we all wished that we had gotten more time to do actual design work for the game. And as for the story, we managed to get some time to write the story and record voice acting for the game, but in the end we hadn't time to implement all of it yet. Over to script. Unreal script. Oskar Gilsén and Björn Bergmarklund has been the designers in charge of our scripting. Their work process has consisted of looking up existing code and modifying it to our needs. It has been a time-consuming process which involved lots of testing and searching. Many problems have been derived from neither of them having much experience in programming and lacking documentation about the Unreal script and time spent on testing. Testing really took some time. But first, they had to save the script, of course. Then they had to close the editor if they were working in it, compile the code, start the editor again, and load the map, test the code, and for the most, repeat the process. The most time in that process was waiting for the editor to start and load the map. And then again, there could be differences in how the code worked in the editor and how it actually worked in-game. Our own AI was something we really spent time on, as the AI available in Unreal Tournament 3 was too complex to suit our needs, as our AI only need to run through a path, through a maze, take damage, then eventually die. After 5 weeks, we had our own AI done, but we estimate that if we had real programmers working with us, it may have taken only a couple of hours. Over to Kismet. Kismet is the second scripting language used in Unreal Tournament 3 editor. Kismet is graphic controlled script language that is used to handle simple events in Unreal Tournament levels, as controlling lifts and triggering events. In most Sanctum, most sounds, the turrets, creep waves, and user interface is controlled by Kismet. It's fairly simple to create and simple event in Kismet, and it's quite user-friendly to people who have never used scripting before. And it's fast and easy to test your script in the editor as you just start up a level and test it. But the problem with Kismet is that it can be hard to create something more complex than toggling a light, as of its limitation in what events and actions you can control. And when you have built up some code, it can be hard to get an overview of your code because of its graphical interface. It's therefore important to comment your work so it's easier to navigate. Here's a picture of a Kismet sequence we use to control our turrets in game. As you can see, it's lots of squares and lines going everywhere here and there. So it can be quite confusing if you do not have spent a lot of work on comment. Over to level design. Gustav Tivander has been the designer in charge of our level design. That includes constructing the level with the content our graphical department has created and arranging the lights and effects to create a special feel for Sanctum. To have one designer working on the level as primary has been useful, as we have got a coherent level design, but it's also been a problem when more than one designer needs to access the level at once. But the most important aspects when you create a level is to keep optimization in mind. The difficult part of this is to keep a balance between an optimized level and a beautiful level, both in gameplay aspect and in graphic aspect. Over to audio. Gustav Tivander has also been in charge of our sound in our game. We didn't have sound as a requirement in our project goals, but we felt that we needed our own music and sounds to get a special feeling for Sanctum. But due to time constraints, we didn't have time to implement all of it either. But I'm very happy with the music we got in the game, as it really adds to the beauty of the game. So, over to Martin.
Yes, my name is Martin Johnson, and I'm the lead artist for Sanctum. When starting a project, it is very important that all individuals in your developing team are working to a common goal and have a united vision of what the final product will be. The key to this is a key to this united vision is clear concepts, simple but consequent art direction. In the beginning of the project, all artists assembled in meetings and discussed what wishes and visions they have about the graphic style, and we took the direction from that meeting. We all wanted to create a game that could stand up to the graphical standards that are in the games of today. This was something we later realized is extremely ambitious for a 10-week project. The art style ended up as a mix of classic Western action game and Japanese anime culture. Some weeks before the actual project started, we began to research the UT3 engine and its pipeline. This research made it possible for us to create graphic straight at the beginning of the project, instead of wasting time learning the process then, which was very useful. Development process. The first 2 weeks of the project was somewhat chaotic in the graphic department, with no good organization at all. Because of this, a lot of pressure ended up on Michael, that at this moment was the man with best knowledge about the UT3 engine. We solved this during this meeting Nico talked about earlier. And during this meeting, a clear hierarchy was established, and we divided the graphic pipeline more specific into areas so everyone got more clear work areas to work with. We also started to write a detailed list of what content we thought were needed and who would do the texture and the model and so forth. After this meeting, we got a more dynamic workflow, and the workload was divided much more equally over all artists. In general, there were no great errors with the graphic pipeline, and the work went on smoothly, with some notable exceptions. Some technical misunderstandings and mishaps occurred, but nothing that couldn't be solved. Tips and learnings, what we learn about this project. When you start a project, always have a good plan of what work you think will be needed. And I say think because there will always be more work than you originally thought it would be. And when you plan, always take in mind the time disposal and time frame you have at your disposal to make the project. And be pessimistic in your planning, because things take longer time than you plan that you will do. And to round things up, I would like to recommend the UT3 engine as a tool for your mods. It's relatively user-friendly, and it's easy to learn the pipelines, and and that means you can get your own content into the engine fast, which is very good. And with that said, it's time for the trailer one more time.
Okay, later today we will be releasing an open alpha version of Sanctum, and we're very interested in feedback. The plan is to continue the development of Sanctum, and your feedback will be very helpful. So later today you can find the alpha on our website, sanctumgame.com. Now let's go over to the questions. Yes.
Since tower defense is often real-time strategy, and real-time strategy often has a lot of feedback, more feedback than first-person shooters. What feedback have you missed out on when converting to first-person?
How do we manage the feedback?
When converting to...
Yeah, okay. We have used lots of displays that display your amount of resources, the amount of HP you have, the time and such on displays that are spread all over the map. And we wanted to go away from the usual HUD solution, as we thought it blocks the immersion. Next question.
From the chat, how has the community helped you to create a better game?
How has the community helped us to create a better game? For the most part, it was just a motivation, because we didn't release very much information. We tried to keep it down a bit so we wouldn't disappoint people. But everyone has been very excited about Sanctum and want to play it, so yeah, it's mostly the motivation. Yes?
Do you think more should be made on this than actual creating the game themselves as an art experience?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Do you think mods should be used more as learning to develop games than actually creating games themselves?
Okay, do I believe that mods should be used instead of creating complete games with own engines? Yes, I think it's a good solution if you have a lack of programmers, as we have at the moment. It has been quite troubling at times, because we don't have programmers, so we don't know how to solve some tasks, but I think it's a good solution in this case. Next. Yes?
What's the relation between the player character and the towers? How important are they respectively for the defense?
How important are the towers in comparison to the player? Both are very important, so you can't complete the game without either part. We have balanced it so that you can put up not very many towers, but a few, and you have to shoot to complete the game. Anyone else?
From the chat again, someone here that you finished a character model for the main character. How come you didn't show her in the trailer?
Why didn't we show the character model in the trailer? The thing is that we had a new trailer, but we chose not to show it here. It will be uploaded to our website, hopefully today, so you can catch it there. We didn't feel that it had enough gameplay to be usable here. Anyone else?
From the chat again.
Okay.
What other aspects have you? What other aspects have you? What other aspects is there in the game that you have made to make it interesting?
How did we make the game interesting?
Something like that.
We had trouble because we didn't think it would be very interesting in the beginning, because we didn't know. We didn't prototype very much. But it turned out that it was actually very fun and action-filled to run around jumping on top of the towers, trying to beat all the monsters that just come in waves. So it's hard to explain, but you should try it out. It's really fun. Anyone else? How many characters are there in the game? There's just one, and she isn't really important in the gameplay. You only see her in the beginning, and then it's first person for the rest of the game. The plan is to include co-op in the future, but we haven't done that yet. Anyone else? Yes?
How many types of creeps are there in the game?
How many types of enemies are there? There are 3 at the moment. 2 kinds of walkers in different sizes and a kind of a hoverer, as you saw in the trailer, I think. Anyone else?
Yes, one more from the chat. How much storyline has been put into the game?
How much storyline do you have in the game? We actually have a pretty long storyline. Well, not long, but for a tower defense it's long. But it hasn't been included into the map yet due to time constraints. It will hopefully be included though in the future. Anyone else? Okay, then we're done. Or?
What's the difference between the 3 types of enemies?
What the differences are between the 3 types of enemies? Sorry? In-game mechanics. The large walkers are easier to hit, but they in return have more HP. And they are slower than the small runners, the small kind of walkers. The hovers have a more resistant weak spot, and they take much more damage before they die. That's how it works.
One more from the chat. Can
Okay.
you upgrade towers or your weapons?
Can you upgrade towers or weapons? Yes, in a way. You start up with different defensive formations, as you saw in the trailer, and you can upgrade these blocking towers to either a Gatling turret or an elevator. And you already start with 2 weapons. It's the assault rifle and the sniper rifle. You can only choose between these 2, and you can't really upgrade them.
And one long, tricky one. In a tower defense game, overview, top-down, isometric perspectives is key. How did you handle that in FPS?
How did we handle the usual overview solution to tower defenses? I think I explained that already, but you run around on top of towers and you click on holograms, and we have the information displayed on different kinds of signs or displays across the map. And this worked out better than we expected. Okay, then we're done.